Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the Multifamily Market Update presented by the Multifamily Investment Advisors team, backed by Keller Williams Commercial and Keller Williams One Chicago, where we're a global powerhouse where we actually connect preservation and legacy capital. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass it off to our director of acquisitions, Vince, to actually give us some information regarding investor trends.
Thanks, guys, and Travis specifically. Hope to get Drew circle back around. Obviously, everything we're all doing is interconnected. With the interesting interest rates we're seeing, I'm getting calls from people out of town left and right. Obviously, there are, some headwinds that certain owners locally do express they have concern about, which leads folks to have uncertainty. But we're certainly seeing more optimism than not with the advent of this vaccine. Chicago still being a relatively low entry point area proportionate to the population that we have. So, with New York's average sale price of an investment property being 1 million, LA's average sale price of an investment property being 500,000, Chicago is still coming in at just above 300,000, making us, with us still being the third largest metro area population wise, that's very significant. 50% of the population are renters. So for investment style properties, that presents a huge tenant pool, with Business Insider magazine rating us within the top 5 places in the country to purchase a rental property. Many factors ensure that those renters unfortunately will not become home buyers in the near future, but that is fortunate to our investment clients. We're seeing 36 Fortune 500 companies holding their headquarters in the Chicago metro area. That creates strong economics. Usually renters are spending less than 20% of their income on rent, which makes it desirable for the tenants that come from international and national, looking for places to work, ready to transition and that sort of thing. So, investors are still giving me calls trying to get into this market. I definitely encourage folks that have uncertainty to consider these factors. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can, dial down to some details. And I can definitely share, any sources of that data if need be.
Thank you, Vince, for sharing that information regarding the investor trends. Next, we're actually going to pass it off to our Director of Research and Development, Jason York. He's going to be going over a few upcoming developments that he's seeing via the Invest Southwest program.
Thanks, Travis. So I want to kick it off by just highlighting some new activity that we are seeing with the Invest Southwest program. So recently, we just seen some new locations identified that the city is actually requesting proposals for. So those two locations are actually going to be in the Humble Park neighborhood area of Chicago. And the first location that I want to highlight for everyone is near the Hermosa. But if you look at the intersection of North Avenue and Pulaski, it's it's a former Pioneer Trust and Savings Bank that is serving to be the kind of the anchor for this site. And that location is calling from the community to be developed into a cultural arts center, a community hub, with a center for arts and culture, a library branch, a business incubator, a little bit of office and retail space, and then also a healthy food incubator, which are all things that we've seen, especially with this program throughout the city. So that's what they're looking to kind of transform that Pioneer Trust and Savings Bank to. And then there's also some adjacent land behind the Pioneer Trust and Savings Bank that the neighborhood and the community would actually like to see 100% of affordable housing built to service the community and get some more housing in the area. So that's at the intersection of Pulaski and North Avenue. And then if we also want to look near East Garfield Park, there's an entire block of property pretty much from 3601 to 3625 West Chicago Ave. That includes parking lots or a parking lot, an alley, and two smaller buildings. Um, the community would like to see these buildings kind of demolished, but the plans that Invest Southwest are looking for would be to transform and redevelop that space into some office and some mixed income residential units to see that area really redeveloped and come to life. So those are all both of those locations are within the Humble Park area. So a lot of activity going on North Avenue and Chicago Ave.
Thanks for sharing that, Jason. Definitely some great information, especially for investors already in those communities. Now we're going to pass it off to our Director of Acquisitions, Cody, to actually share some information about additional programs that owners can use to force appreciation in their assets.
Absolutely. And give me one quick second here. Are we able to see my screen quite all right? Hello?
Yes, we're able to see it, Cody.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure. So yeah, there are three ways that I'd like to bring to our attention to force a bit of appreciation in your assets. The three being ADU pilot zones, which if we've tuned in, we've heard me talk about that almost every single time. Opportunity zones, as well as another way to force appreciation, maybe an advertising or equipment leasing space. At or on your assets. Scroll here to the next slide. So the ADU pilot zones, as I've mentioned in the past, there are 5 pilot areas in Chicago that will now allow applications to convert your existing structures, 21 years or older, to with granny flats, ADUs, garden units, extra spaces that weren't there before. Great way to add revenue and thus force appreciation to hopefully already producing asset. The applications opened up May 1st, so this Saturday, and you can head to the I have the website right here, or you can reach out later, chicago.gov/ADU, and you can get cruising that way. If you do not fall in one of those pockets, you may still have a chance to apply by filing for a variance. Chicago has a great initiative to try to create some more affordable housing, which is fantastic. In regards to opportunity zones, is another way that Chicago is trying to vitalize and revitalize areas to get investors to take their capital gains from the previous year and put them into the community and redevelop land. The upside for investors and private investors specifically is that there are some tax shelters and tax benefits to doing so. If you would like any more information about those two, give me a shout. I can drop my contact information in the chat. And last but not least, I just wanted to touch on it. This doesn't apply to everybody, but marketing. So imagine a sign on the side of your building. If that applies to you, bring in an extra $100 a month, right? Or on your rooftop. Not many know that you can rent out or lease your rooftop space to, say, a cell phone company, and if you fall within a certain area of need for them, you can place 5G towers or cell phone towers on top of your asset, producing even more income. For example, with advertising, we have a unit in Bucktown. They're getting $100 a month for just a sign on the side of their building, net. In terms of value and forced appreciation, there it's a 6 cap is adding an extra $20,000 to the value by our market standards. So great way to do that. And yeah, if you have any more questions about ways to force appreciation on your assets, give me a shout. My name's Cody, and we'll talk to you.
Thanks for sharing all that useful information today, Cody. Perfect. Want to start off with a 4-unit with a duplex option in the Logan Square neighborhood. That's at currently $1,209,000. That's at 3110 West Lindale Street. Then we have a 6-unit mixed-use property, retail and office in the South Loop for $6,500,000. We also have a recently renovated 8-unit in South Shore community for $587,000. That's at 7708 South Cornell. And then also we have a 6-unit in Groveland Park for $1,570,000, and that's at 623 East Groveland Park in the private Groveland Park community of Bronzeville. And last, we also have the new on the market is a 3-unit in Washington Park for $450,000, and that's at 6034 South Indiana Avenue. And if you would like some additional information regarding any of those properties, please feel free to leave your information in the chat bubble, and we'll gladly reach out to you via email. Just want to check just to see if we have any questions from the YouTube Live or Facebook Live section. Okay, and it looks like we're clear. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Multifamily Market Update this week. We look forward to seeing you all next Monday, where we're going to be here at noon discussing more of the multifamily market information. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.